What is the first thing that comes to mind when I say cartoon? Is it animation? Characters? For me, it's color. And while a lot of shows have great color schemes, there is only one great show that uses its color for both style and substance. That show is Danny Phantom. While exploring his parents' laboratory, a 14-year-old Danny Fenton accidentally activates the newly built Fenton Ghost Portal, causing ectoplasm to infuse with his molecules. Now, instead of getting cancer, he gains ghostly powers that range from invisibility, flight, superhuman reflexes, superhuman strength, and so much more. And so begins the wacky adventures of Danny Phantom, who tries to balance his secret superheroics with high school drama. So basically Peter Parker, but with ghost powers. Though Spider-Man does have his own share of supernatural elements. But the show's connection to superheroes does not end there. For example, Danny's ghost breath is similar to Spider-Man's spider sense. Danny's high school bully, Dash Baxter, is based on the Spider-Man's character, Flash Thompson. Both are school bullies who constantly torment the title characters and yet idolize their alter egos, not knowing who they are in actuality, and their names also rhyme. Unlike my high school bullies, damn you Ignatius McGovernacuddy, you put me through hell! Dark Danny bears some resemblance to the Spider-Man villain Venom, which is particularly stressed when he extends his tongue. When Danny and Quan are fighting on the side of a building, it's similar to the fight between Spider-Man and Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2. And the opening theme song retells an origin story of Danny Phantom. Similarly, Marvel publishes a short summary in the beginning of each new issue that introduces the world to new readers because every comic book is someone's first. And the show's multiple and awesome title cards could be compared to comic book covers. And obviously, the show has a ton of references to ghostly and supernatural presence like Casper the Friendly Ghost, Ghostbusters, Amityville, Dracula, and even Freddy Krueger. But getting back on track, one of my favorite aspects of Danny Phantom is its use of color. For starters, the color plays a major part in many shows, and the series uses color to draw attention to what's important, add symbolism, establish the mood, express metaphors, etc. But if we wish to go any further, we need to talk about the color wheel. Yes, that color wheel. So take notes, kids, because this is on the exam. Our modern understanding of colors begins with Sir Isaac Newton and a series of experiments that he published back in 1672. He is the first to understand the rainbow. He reflects white light with a prism, resolving it into its component colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. That would one day make an awesome album cover. Newton's discovery fascinated artists, but his most useful idea for artists was his conceptual arrangement of colors around the circumference of a circle. In 1708, Newton's circular diagram became the model for Claude Boutet's painter's circle. Over the years, scientists, psychologists, and painters combined their efforts to give birth to the color wheel we are most familiar with today. It consisted of 3 primary colors, 3 secondary colors, and the 6 intermediates formed by mixing a primary with a secondary for a total of 12. This opened the door to various color schemes and their relations to each other. Monochromatic color schemes use 3 different values of the same color. Analogous color schemes use 3 adjacent colors on the color wheel. Triadic color schemes use 3 evenly spaced colors on the color wheel. Complementary color schemes use 2 opposite colors on the color wheel, which of course is what Paula Abdul and the Wild Pair based their song Opposites Attract on. And there are actually a lot more, so be sure to let everyone know in the comments below while I get back to Danny. The world of Danny Phantom is essentially divided into 2 worlds coexisting at once: the human world and the ghost world. Is anyone else hearing a siren right now? 2 distinct worlds meant the creators of the cartoon had to create different color palettes. The scenes in the human world are usually presented using slightly desaturated primary colors, which results in a very flat appearance. But whenever Danny enters his ghost mode or encounters a paranormal entity, the color palette switches drastically to overly saturate green, purple, and cyan. Those colors give the scenes an unworldly feel because we are not exposed to them in our daily lives, unless you're working with Zack Snyder. Those also happen to be the colors that represent extraterrestrials or otherworldly creatures in cartoons, games, and movies. But this is not a rule, so feel free to use a multitude of other colors. Interestingly, the show goes a step further coloring its characters. Danny's parents both have complementary colors, aqua and orange. This visually symbolizes their balancing personalities. And both of those colors can even be seen on their daughter Jasmine Jazz Fenton. But Danny seems to be an exception, so maybe he's adopted. Hashtag Danny's adopted theory. Interestingly enough, Danny wears white, while Vlad, Danny's iconic arch-nemesis, dons black. But in ghost form, the hero is predominantly black, while Vlad wears a near all-white suit. This symbolizes Danny's and Vlad's opposite ideologies in both their human and ghost forms. They still have similar appearances that visually suggest their powers bind. Now, this could be their similar powers or portray Vlad's desire to turn Danny into his successor, which becomes more evident knowing that Vlad has a soft spot for his mom. And it saddened me to know that the show only had been on the air for 3 seasons. But despite its short run, it spawned video games and even a flat ride located in Nickelodeon Universe in the Mall of America. In 2016, the show had a 10-year anniversary, so there is still hope to see Danny and his friends return to TV one day. Baby, seems we never, ever agree. You like the movies, and I Well, there you have it, folks. Another great episode on another great cartoon. And Geeks, we got through it without a single embarrassment. Nothing embarrassing happened, and if it had, the editor would have cut it out. What am I talking about? Doesn't matter. What you want to do is click that subscribe button, and if you're liking what you're seeing so far, you're going to want to check out the description for our Patreon, for our TeePublic. There's some crazy merch coming in the future, and the support so far has been great, so let's keep it up. Till next time, see you later, Geeks.